Hi, this is Lisa. Welcome back to my channel, Lisa Under Construction. I want to talk about how I found out my daughter had bipolar syndrome. When my daughter was little, when she was more of a baby, I started noticing things in her that I didn't see in other kids. Like, say we were driving to LA because we live in the valley, she would tantrum all the way to LA, like non-stop crying. And this would be every time if something was like bothering her, and I wouldn't even be able to figure out what it was, because most of the time I would feel like it was nothing. She was fed, she was dry, but it was just something that she would do sometimes. I would think, oh my gosh, what is going on? And then she had like an attachment thing. She couldn't go with other family members. She would always have to be near me or her dad. Otherwise, she would give that person the blues. And I mean the blues. They would bring me my baby back. They would be like, take her. I can't. She's too much. And I could laugh about it now, but back then I would be like, oh my gosh, what in the world? But it was just little things. If my son was getting a shot and she wasn't, she would have a tantrum, like a full-on tantrum in the doctor's office, and I would be like, oh my gosh. And I'm trying to control her, but she's throwing herself all over that office, having a fit because she's not getting a shot and he's getting a shot. She would have fits about every little thing. If I said no, no was the key word. If I said no about any little thing, boom, she would hit the deck, full on tantrum. And it wasn't a little tantrum, because her tantrums could last for an hour or longer. And as she got older, I would notice that when she was having these tantrums, it was like she didn't even know she had the tantrum. When she got a little older, it would be like, why are they mad at me? Because you just tore up the whole room. That's why they're mad at you. But she didn't get it. She didn't understand. And I would say, is something going on, and I gotta put my finger on it. But she was still very young. I said, I'm just gonna keep my eye on it. But I had started taking her to the doctor, and I had started trying to take her to specialists to try to figure out what's going on with this kid, because something is not quite right. One day she had a really bad tantrum, and I took her to the hospital because I could not control her. I couldn't get her out of it. She was just mad. And when I was trying to take her to the hospital, she was trying to get out her car seat and kick my windows out of my car. So when I finally got her to the hospital and the pediatrician saw her, she tore the pediatrician's room up. She called that pediatrician every name in the book. They had to give her a shot to calm her down, and they told me then, your daughter has bipolar. I think she was 4.5, almost 5, and they said, and we're not used to seeing it in kids this young. They said normally we would not even diagnose a kid this young, but you know what? In this case, we're gonna diagnose her, because it's been too many instances where I had taken her in and they've seen little things, and with all the testing that I had done, they said, yeah, there's definitely something going on and we need to start watching it. Her pediatrician was older, so she knew a lot more, I think, than the younger doctors, and she would call me from time to time to check on her, and that, for me, that was amazing, because I don't think any doctor does that. And plus, we lived at the hospital because my daughter has asthma, and with her asthma, her tantrums, and everything else that she had going on, and the stuff that was going on with my son, I feel like we were at the hospital at least once or twice a week, every week. It was like our second home. So every time we would come, they'd be like, oh, you guys are here again. And we'd be like, yeah, we're here. And we would just walk on in there and do what we had to do. I was starting to try to get help for her in the school. I got her tested in school and found out that she also had a learning disability. She had some OCD issues. She just really had a lot going on. I know in my other video I mentioned that they said she was 2/3 autistic. She had some autistic traits, but not enough to get the services for a child that had autism. So as far as getting services, I got none. I just had to try to figure it out. And that's exactly what I did. I think my daughter being diagnosed with bipolar pushed me over the edge a little bit, and it kind of put me into a little bit of depression, and it made me start having panic attack, because I think it was a little bit too much to deal with, and I'll talk about that part later. But I'll get back to talking about the bipolar and dealing with that in her and school. In elementary, dealing with it, we had some pretty good teachers, and for the most part, they were able to deal with it. They were able to help her a lot, but she didn't have many friends because of it, because kids are fickle. Or if she had friends, her friends would be users. They would use her for either her money, or people who I thought were her little friends, they weren't her friends. It's like some of the friends that she had when she was younger, as she got older, they kind of strayed away, because other kids would say, if you're going to be friends with a dumb girl, I'm not going to be friends with you. Or look at her, she explodes all the time. I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to talk to you. So you need to choose. It's either you're going to be friends with me or you're going to be friends with her. It just made it very, very tough for her as a young child. But we were able to manage, even though I know she was going through a lot. She also started suffering from depression and anxiety because of everything that she was going through with everything at school and just life in general. And it's just so sad to see your baby suffer like that. Another thing is, the doctor recommended a book for me to read called The Explosive Child, which was a really good book that I read at the time. If anybody out there has a child who has like huge tantrums or mood swings, I would recommend that you read that book. And the Department of Mental Health has helped us a great deal over the years. So if your child is suffering, you should do some research with them. And besides that, I have a long story to tell about her and her struggles with bipolar and suicide and hospitalizations and going to residential. It's just so much. My life has been a roller coaster, and I'm going to share it all with you. So if you like anything that I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.